Hey guys, Ranger here, and welcome back to another video and another reaction and review. And this is to the welcome back to the 8th episode of DuckTales 2017, which is the Living Mummies of Toth-Ra. Of Toth-Ra. I'm assuming that's how that is pronounced, so I apologize. Pardon me if it is not, but I'm really curious to delve back into this because I know magic is there, and I really want to see more develop with Della. So let's begin. Shall we start the video in 3, 2, 1, click. Launchpad. Ooh, Egypt. I've always loved Egypt. Ah, Scrooge. Launchpad. Everyone.
And that's why you don't scream while sinking in quicksand.
Webby, please don't tell me how to die.
Don't worry. I've read all about the ancient pyramids. I'll show you the ins and outs.
Would love to focus on the outs.
Don't tell me how to die. I'll die how I want.
Bringer of the sun. I've been searching for decades. Launchpad!
Did you want a bite?
This is the last of the lost pyramids. Show some respect.
Sorry, Mr. McD.
Oh man, what if there's a whole army of mummies down here?
Unlikely. Mummification was an expensive process meant for royalty. It'd be rare for more than one mummy. Toth-Ra was pretty rich. I bet there's at least 6.
Rich? What are we talking? Jewels, antiquities, what?
Pharaohs from this period were typically entombed with treasure, servants, jars full of vital organs.
Ignoring the bad parts. See you in the treasure room. Whee!
Careful.
Booby traps.
That was pretty anticlimactic.
Okay. Oh boy. Ow. Hey, wait, that's a... Wait a minute.
Behind me. They could be dangerous. Speak, you ancient miscreants.
Hey, what's up?
I like her already. Okay. I have questions. Okay. First off, they're not dead. They're very much alive. Is it a spell that has somehow made them live forever and they're totally up to date with today's modern world? Third, I love the writing for that character. Just her introduction, just, hey, what's up? I love it. Very curious. And I noticed the city in the background. So I'm curious about the city. Interesting. Underground city. Interesting.
Hey, if those are mummies, I'd hate to see daddies, am I right?
Greetings, minions of Toth-Ra. We are Scrooge McDuck and family.
Hey, if you guys are mummies, then I'd hate to see...
And associates from the outside.
Outsiders.
We mean you no harm.
If you could just show us where your sacred treasure room is.
You'll forgive the lad. We're just used to the mummies and pyramids being, well, dead.
We are not mummies. We merely dress in this manner to honor our powerful and fashion-forward leader.
Oh.
I am Amunet, leader of the descendants of the servants of Pharaoh Toth-Ra.
Oh, okay.
For thousands of years, our families have served the Pharaoh, and our society has thrived.
Okay.
I'll give you a good deal. Buy my son.
Buy my sand! Buy from me!
Thrived isn't the word I'd use.
Living mummies. There's something you don't see every day, eh, Webby girl? Webby? Louie?
They must have gone down the other chute, into the Pharaoh's forbidden chamber.
Forbidden?
Oh, no!
Lucky? The poor bairns must be scared out of their wits.
Nope. Dang, the treasure room.
Are we dead? Oh, is this heaven?
The ruby Ankh of Neferhotep. Who shot the army of Xerxes III? A prophecy. To those who serve the Pharaoh Toth-Ra, he brings golden reward, but beware all those who cross him. And then something I can't quite translate. Something about a curse? Being stuck here for all eternity?
Fine by me.
Really?
Best not to touch anything until we find Mr. McDuck. Let's go.
Or maybe we stay here. It's a room full of treasure. Scroogie's gonna find it.
Good thinking. Still, don't touch
Well, hello.
I wouldn't do that. That looks...
anything.
Oh boy.
And that's my hut, and that's the public waste hole.
They're awful close to each other.
It does not smell great, but Almighty Toth-Ra decreed this is where I am to live. Oh, and here's the temple of Toth-Ra.
When was the last time you saw sunlight?
My kids are trapped. Now you take me to the Pharaoh this instant.
No need. The Pharaoh will be here soon.
Really? Offering? That's not him.
Bagpipes.
That's not him.
Your Pharaoh is pleased.
He has accepted our offering. It is time for our golden reward.
I give you the sun.
That's it?
Wait!
Really?
Back here!
Great day, everyone. If we skip meals and start harvesting right now, maybe he'll bring us a full hour of sun tomorrow.
You know a mummy doesn't actually bring you the sun, right? The Earth spins on its axis, creating...
Aw, not the sharpest sickle in the shed, are you, kid?
I've got a junior woodchuck badge in sickle sharpening that says otherwise.
You
Oh,
should
boy.
really leave that alone. Basic rule of treasure hunting. If it might be cursed, don't touch it.
You said you weren't sure what the prophecy meant.
No, but I am sure it said the golden reward is for those who serve Toth-Ra.
I am serving him by cleaning up. This place is a mess of treasure.
Dude, do you realize? And there's a
No.
scroll.
Maybe we better...
Ooh, what's in this weird jar, huh?
That's probably an organ. That's probably a...
Do not look in those jars.
Ooh, a kidney!
Intruders!
We brought that kidney from home, I swear.
Really?
Let me in, you decomposing degenerate!
Those who enter the Pharaoh's chamber never return!
What?
Oh
Levy!
Sorry, too much?
Isn't there some way you can help us?
I suppose we could just rise up against the all-powerful Toth-Ra, bringer of the golden sun.
Yes, that! Do that!
Why? We've got food, water, fresh bandages in lieu of pay, a kind and merciful God King. What's the outside got that we don't?
Toth-Ra has got you working night and day, while you barely get enough to scrape by.
He doesn't bring you the sun. He keeps it from you.
Sorry, it's just not our way.
Don't you want to feel the sun on your face? The wind in your hair?
Not really.
Don't you want freedom? Or glory? Or launch pad?
Oh, sorry. I didn't want my belly to grumble and interrupt your big speech. Like I am right now.
It's bad enough you goof around during the greatest archaeological find of our time. But,
What is that?
A burrito.
Oh, this burrito? Just rice, beans, cheese, your choice of meat, wrapped in a delicious tortilla. Delicious.
Where do we get this
Subway.
burrito?
outside, where freedom
Oh
is!
no, sorry. They have...
Burritos are outside?
We must have burritos! Rise up against the mighty Toth-Ra!
That's all it took?
Seriously? That's what they... Oh, never mind. Let's break into that temple!
Okay.
Never should have ignored a prophecy. We crossed the Pharaoh and now we're doomed.
Silence!
But we didn't cross the Pharaoh. It was just some lowly guard.
Feels like a technicality.
As long as you could talk your way out. Trademark Louis Duck. Oh, this whole thing is a silly mistake.
You were stealing treasure.
I would never. I'm a new pharaoh in town. Maybe you've heard of me. Lou Rai, master of all pharaohs, basically your boss's boss. You should just let us go before I get angry.
I'll never buy that.
Pharaoh of pharaohs. Huh?
There shall be none above Toth-Ra! Into the pit
Really?
of eternal screams.
I never thought I'd die in a pit of spikes. I mean, I always hoped.
Prepare to scream.
Eternally!
Or until you hit the bottom.
Wait a second! You can't do that because I have a really good reason. And my reason is this.
Because you've got to perform the proper ceremony first. I don't see any mummification tools, no Book of the Dead. Are you even a certified high priest?
Well, no, but I...
There has to be a high priest in attendance. Everyone knows that.
Well, I definitely knew that. Just check the scroll if you don't believe us. Bye!
Hey!
Wow, that was quick thinking on that phony sacrifice stuff.
Oh, that was all real.
Wait, you were trying to help him kill us?
If I'm gonna be sacrificed, I'm gonna do it right.
Get back
I like,
here!
yeah, I really like Webby.
At least my thing helped. Every time you ignore the rules and pull a Louie, we end up in more trouble.
Because the rules of this place are nonsense. Like this. Bird, different bird, snake, leaf, nonsense.
Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's... Huh. Actually, this doesn't make sense. This bird is facing the wrong way. Secret passage! Yes!
Huh.
All right.
I don't think
troops.
you'll fit.
It won't be easy, but we'll whip you into shape. Defeat that gauze-wrapped reprobate Toth-Ra and save Louie and Webby.
Show them what we got, boys.
Really?
Good. Work on that shamble, Horus. Nice grown, Seth.
What is this?
What's more terrifying than an army of mummies limping towards you?
You realize Toth-Ra is a mummy.
All right, back to one, people. New strategy. What do you know about Frankensteins?
And then we come at Toth-Ra from both sides.
But what about his laser beam eyes?
You've seen these laser eyes.
No, but he is all-powerful.
Fine. We cause a diversion and sneak around back.
But his scarab spies will tell him we're coming.
Since when does he have scarab spies?
Since whenever he wants. For he is Toth-Ra, the almighty, all-powerful.
Yeah, I get it.
1,
I'm
2, 3,
thinking
and 4. Again.
that guy's probably not a mummy. It's just some dude.
Fill, fold, roll, and tuck. Real burrito fillings are a lot messier than these practice ones. If you can't tuck those ends, how are you ever gonna make it to the combination menu?
We're going to die down here.
Now we just follow this trail.
Yeah, because nobody is actually teaching them the proper things.
How was your day, darling?
I missed you.
Stop touching everything!
I'm trying to get out the way we came in. Plus, we get this sweet souvenir. Hey, I think I saw a skeleton over there.
Really? No time. The prophecy says we'll be cursed
If we cross Toth-Ra. But that can mean anything. Besides, the dumb Pharaoh isn't even here.
Want a bet? Oh, there he is. Oh.
Who dares disturb my chamber?
I'm Webby.
Oh, so he is dead. Alright. I still think there's something up.
Where are we going?
The Pharaoh's throne room!
And what are we going to do?
Anything he asks!
No! You're going to stand up for yourselves while I rescue my kids.
Right, but if we attack Toth-Ra and he tells us to surrender, we should do that, right?
We've spent our lives blindly serving Toth-Ra. Now we're trying to change our whole way of life for the promise of a simple burrito.
This is not just about a simple burrito.
Huh?
It's about all kinds of
Freedom.
burritos. Wet burritos. Breakfast burritos. Some people even put French fries in their burritos.
This is the dumbest rebellion I have ever been part of.
Yeah, I have to admit, yes it is.
Great. We crossed
And I've seen some
Toth-Ra
dumb
by
ones.
messing with this stuff, and now we're done for. Why do you always have to work an angle?
Good idea.
No, wait!
Toth-Ra! Pharaoh Lurai from next
Oh,
door.
boy.
Hey!
I am Toth-Ra, commander of the sun.
Yep, uh-huh.
Ooh, hate to pull rank, Chief.
I thought
but,
there was
I'm
something
commander
up.
of the whole universe, which kind of includes the
Please
sun.
tell me Webby
so...
saw The levers.
Impossible! Come forth so that I may smite you, fine pretender.
No, you come over here so I can smite you.
Never! You come over here, because I am going to smite you so hard.
What the heck?
Get away from there!
I am ordering that guard
You?
Control me with my awesome Pharaoh powers.
This is like the Wizard of Oz, isn't it? That's the wizard, and you're the guy controlling him.
Prophecy?
Webby, it's not a prophecy, it's a con. How long you been running this pyramid scheme?
My ancestor was Toth-Ra's personal guard. He was supposed to protect him till he awakened in here, but he never woke up. So, to give everyone hope, he set up this rig so the Pharaoh could fulfill his promise to bring the people their golden reward.
Wait, the golden reward is just the sun? That's lame.
And your family decided to keep tricking the people so they'd worship you and do your bidding.
For decades?
But the prophecy.
How long?
The mummy.
Centuries?
All fake. I'd really appreciate it if you didn't tell anyone.
Oh, don't worry, Webbs. You'll get ripped apart by a real mummy someday.
Somehow that doesn't sound as a
Your people demand freedom!
To eat barbacoa!
But
What?
mostly the freedom part. Now, release my family!
Hey, how did you, I mean...
You dare intrude upon the Pharaoh?
He's dead.
Loyal followers! The guard has crossed me! Take him away!
Oh!
Yeah, that'll work.
Hey, Mr. McDuck.
Webby! Where's Louis?
Be free, my people! Oh, and pack up the treasure! It is prophesied that you will one day give it to a young, handsome duck dressed all in green!
Never mind, I found him.
Or just give it to me! You know, I shall give it to the charming young man myself!
Wait, is that just the body? Huh?
A prophecy!
I know! I just couldn't translate this last glyph.
It says, beware all those who cross Toth-Ra past this point.
Okay, so he's alive now.
Yes! The mummy is real!
That may not be a good thing. No, it's not a good thing.
Oh, right, yeah, that's a bad thing.
Yeah. Okay, he's just mindless right now. He has no... Oh!
Louis!
I'll teach you to pick on my family.
Scrooge, I wouldn't...
Attack!
It's just the body, there's no brain! All the organs are in the jar!
What you got?
Thriller. Yes! Oh my gosh! This is Thriller, man!
Right, this was a bad plan. I see
That was epic.
Attack plan Foxtrot!
Yeah. Oh, Scarab? Wait, was that it? Oh, laser! Are you serious?
Told ya.
Coincidence? That beetle could have said anything.
Enough flapping about, you
Scarab spies and laser beam eyes. Okay. Hey, that rhymes. Okay, like I said, he's dead. The brain is probably in a jar somewhere.
Stay here. Look
He's
back.
not actually
Look
thinking.
back.
He's just a mindless monster.
Is he okay?
Don't lose hope. Remember the burritos. When a burrito falls apart,
He's
you've got
alive.
to put it in a bowl and eat it with a fork. Or, grab some tortilla chips and make nachos, I guess. Is any of this making sense?
This was never about burritos.
It wasn't.
It's about freedom to make a choice.
Now you
a
get it?
choice bigger than beef or veggies. We've lived our whole lives toiling in the service of the Pharaoh. Now we get to choose for ourselves. And what do we want?
Burritos! Wow. Okay then. Charge!
Okay. All right. I'll roll with it.
I think we got off on the wrong foot here. I can help you. You know, with a little buzz and some FaceTime and the right crips, I could make you bigger than Tot, man. Would you believe that this is all a dream? Fine. Look, I'm just a scared kid who talked himself into a problem that he can't get out of, okay? There's no more rule bending. Let's just do this your way. I am your humble servant. What can I do for you, almighty Toth-Ra?
Die.
Oh, man.
Louie!
Oh, so he can speak.
Get him back across the seal. Maybe he'll stop trying to destroy everyone.
How are we gonna get a 10-foot mummy back across the seal?
By offering him a golden reward.
Just like Launchpad taught you. Fill, fold, roll, and tuck.
Really?
That's the biggest burrito I've ever seen.
Ah! The sun god is angry! Everyone back inside! Oh, never mind.
So, what are you gonna do now you're free?
We'll take 100 quesadillas, 55 tostadas, and 200 burrito especials, please. Oh, well, this is embarrassing.
This one's on me.
That will be $9,000.
What?
Money.
Oh, thanks, Mr. McD. I'll get you back.
Then we found a secret tunnel. Then we awoke the cursed mummy. And then we almost died again.
How much are those each?
Thanks for saving my life a bunch back there. I'll try to listen to you next time and not, you know, pull a Louie.
Seriously, that's a thing now?
It's all
Yeah.
about branding.
Launchpad, bringer of the burrito. As thanks, we bestow upon ye the golden khopesh of Toth-Ra.
Hey, thanks.
And Scrooge, mighty warrior. As thanks for helping us see
You'll
the
get something
light,
ridiculous.
pun intended, we give you this!
You know, this is actually not bad at all.
So Launchpad gets the scythe or whatever. I forgot what it was. And Scrooge gets a burrito. Okay. Alright. Okay. Interesting. Alright. I'll buy it. Alright. I think this was probably the zaniest, craziest, and definitely the most hilarious episode that I've watched so far of DuckTales 2017. I really enjoyed this episode. This episode definitely kind of felt more like, you know, like some of the original DuckTales episodes where the characters are actually... This episode did kind of feel like a bit kind of going back to the original heritage of the original DuckTales where the characters were actually doing some exploring and just having adventure like they would have back in the original episode. Or sorry, the original DuckTales. And so it was interesting to be able to see that development here with them going on an adventure again. The interesting thing is the comedy with this particular episode really was inventive with this particular episode. It was really, honestly, hilarious. And there was supposed to be drama, of course, but there was a lot of comedy in this particular episode that really, which I will go over the different scenario, the different comedic scenarios. But this was a really fun episode, I have to say. It was a really interesting episode. And it was definitely a departure from your typical mummy thing, where the characters that they meet, it turned out, are not actually mummies. I mean, they're just like ancestors, descendants, they're just descendants that are kind of carrying on the tradition of that. And unfortunately, they live inside of this pyramid, and I couldn't help but wonder, how long has it been since you've seen sunlight? And there was a few different dynamics in this particular episode. One of the dynamics was the concept that there was an interesting clash between Webby and Louie. There was an interesting clash between Webby and Louie that you know, Webby wanted to kind of take precautions and try to respect and honor and be cautious of the supposed curse, because she didn't want to take a chance and do something really, really dangerous. Louis, on the other hand, was kind of more one that kind of just flies by the seat of his pants, or lack thereof, rather, and just kind of does his own thing and just kind of does things on a whim, and it can sometimes get him in trouble. And so there's an interesting thing where you had two different characters, Webby, who was trying to be more cautious, but Louis wanted to kind of live on a bit more on the dangerous side. Didn't really, pardon me. He wasn't concerned with the idea of a curse or being in danger. And there was an interesting thing here with Webby in that she knew that Louis' gimmick, Louis' way of doing things was probably going to be ridiculous and not help at all. And as it turned out, Louis tried to do his normal thing. And it's funny because Webby just kept looking at him like, really, brah? Really, brah? That's what you're going with? And, you know, like, Louis' way of trying to do things did not work whatsoever, to which Webby did things her way, and it really helped them to get out of the situation. And as it turned out, I mean, she did it her way, and it helped them out of that situation, and as it turned out, her telling this guy about the proper burial procedures was actually legit. And honestly, I don't blame Webby. Like, why be buried a half-a way? I mean, if you're going to be buried in a tomb, do it with the full thing. Don't just have him toss you down a cellar. No, do it the right way. I support this. And like I said, the interesting thing going back to this was you have the interesting setup where Scrooge... It's funny that Scrooge sometimes in this appears to be the most sane and intelligent one out of everyone here. With the exception of Webby. Scrooge, you could tell, like, probably, there were times that he wonders probably, is this my life? What's my life come to? I'm hanging out with a bunch of idiots. But like I said, it was interesting, the setup with the mummies, in that the whole setup with the mummies was that I honestly thought, I didn't know what was going on whenever they first arrived inside the pyramid and you see the mummies. I had a few different thoughts that maybe these mummies were actually alive. Maybe these were mummies, but they were alive. Maybe it was some sort of spell that were causing these mummies to stay alive. Maybe, you know, live eternally as protectors of the original Pharaoh. Or maybe it was some sort of curse that was keeping them alive, and Scrooge and the gang would have to try to figure out how to break the curse to set them free of that curse so they can move on into the afterlife. That was a couple of different thoughts that I had, and I know my theories are darker than what we actually saw play out. But, you know, the comedic thing with things that played out were they were just descendants. And it was interesting because they had never actually seen the Pharaoh directly up close, just seen anything that he could do, but Pharaoh, scarab spies, and laser beam eyes. Like I said, it rhymes, but I'm going with it. And it was just honestly hilarious. Scrooge's mention that we're going to die down here. Yeah, because the only one that was actually trying to do any sort of planning whatsoever legitly was kind of honestly Huey, trying to help them. Dewey was trying to teach them how to dance, which didn't really help. And Launchpad was trying to teach them how to roll a burrito, which actually kind of helped later on. So apparently, burrito folding and rolling is a necessity in life. So apparently, yeah, we may see that article in a new skill set or survival magazine. You know, rolling a burrito, because apparently it's crucial. And Scrooge has mentioned about this is the stupidest rebellion that he had ever seen. Again, yeah, I have to say, because this rebellion was just... It was honestly comical that this whole rebellion was just kind of forged on the concept of burritos. And it was funny that it was just so ridiculous how that they were willing to serve this Pharaoh. But in the moment that they thought, oh, we get burritos if we rebel against him. Let's rebel! Like, really? That's all it took? And I think Scrooge started to say the exact same thing. Like I said, I honestly thought that there was something kind of odd about this Pharaoh. That it was funny that he was introduced and you just see him and it's just dark. You don't really see much of him at all. And I thought, there's something going on here. And then I saw these supports that are holding this guy. And honestly, I kind of thought it was kind of weird that these supports were holding this guy's body the entire time. And honestly, I had to wonder, wait, is this the body, the legit body of this Pharaoh? Or is this some sort of makeshift one? But nope, apparently this was the body of the Pharaoh that had actually apparently been mummified and preserved for a long time, apparently. So, interesting and very much disrespectful. Which I'm a little confused here because it shows the guy with the tongue. I don't know. I don't remember directly. I know that they did. I mean, I really credit the cartoon here, because they made mentions in this cartoon about how that they would remove the vital organs like the heart, the kidneys, etc. So I really have to say I really admire the dedication to that. But what did they? I don't know. I've never done any research on that. But what did they do with the tongue? Did they leave it in there or what? And I have to say, at that one point, whenever they were looking inside the jar and the kidney was in there, even inside of a jar, wouldn't the kidneys have like rotted away after all those years, decades inside of a jar? Would they really have been? Unless they were completely airtight, and even airtight, I mean, it's internal organs. Wouldn't they have been gone? Dust? All those centuries later? That just, like, I didn't know that that you could preserve internal organs in jars. Okay, interesting. But again, this one scene here that I have to point out with them doing doing Thriller. Like, this is hardcore Thriller here. Where they do, like, this is totally Thriller. Even down to them looking at the screen. Even down to them looking at the screen. Now, of course, the music is different. It's not actually Thriller. I can understand that because you copyright. But the music itself is good. But it's honestly comical that they did that. And like I said, and also one thing that I have to point out was I really admire Scrooge here. Because Scrooge just jumped right in. That's one of the things that I like about Scrooge is just, like, he's pretty daring. I gotta say, Scrooge is pretty daring for him to just rush in and use his cane and put it around this guy's neck and try to hold him back. I really have to say, I really admire Scrooge's bravery. It's really admirable. And it's funny that they had a scarab here that ends up telling the Pharaoh something, and of course it turns out the dude legit has laser beam eyes. And honestly, and this one woman here was like, told you. And I had to want, like, really? I've never known of a Pharaoh to have laser beam eyes and scarab spies. And this image of Launchpad in a natural Egyptian pose and the wall. This was just too comical. I loved it. This was honestly too good. And of course Scrooge tries to give them a speech, but then this woman is like, it was about freedom all along. And I thought, really? You got that from burritos? You translated burrito into freedom. How? How did you do that? Like, that was supposed to be the point. It was about freedom all along, but first you interpreted it as burritos. Let's do it for the burritos, and now suddenly it's about freedom. What the heck? don't blame Scrooge. Like, after getting out of this, I don't blame him at all. He probably was like, I'm done. I'm going home. I'm taking some Tylenol, and I'm going to bed for a day, okay? Of course, once they get out, they're trying to order the food, and $9,000 for all that. Okay, you know what? I don't know what the rate is in Egypt. I don't know what the rate is in Egypt, so I cannot verify, but all that stuff, $9,000. Dang! Yeah, I don't blame Scrooge for having a panic attack at that. I don't blame him at all. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. This was a very zany, very crazy episode, and it was very interesting to see them going on a basic adventure like they would have done, like in the earlier DuckTales. So it was interesting to be able to see that, and I gotta say, the humor in this was great. I really enjoyed the humor. The reference, of course, to Michael Jackson, and it's kind of funny because watching this, for me, this is kind of watching this on the heels of being at BronyCon 2019 and seeing Dancing Chris having won the talent show and doing Michael Jackson dance moves on the stage during the closing ceremony. So this is kind of coming on the heels of that for me. So that's really awesome. And I really admire, you can tell fans of Michael Jackson at Disney, which is super cool. And again, I love the humor in this. It was really great. And it was interesting to be able to see the dynamics with the characters and see them play off of each other, like Webby and Louie, and see them, again, Webby, like, this was not a situation where Webby had to learn something and Louie had to learn something. Instead, it was like Webby already had the maturity. She was trying to be respectful to this Pharaoh and try to avoid being cursed or facing the curse. But Louis, on the other hand, was kind of just used to doing things his own way, and as a result, he ended up putting himself into a situation where he couldn't get himself out of. And, Webby tried to help him. She tried, but it didn't really work. And so Louis ended up admitting that he was just a dumb kid, and now he doesn't really know what to do. And I think that this definitely helped him to learn. And I gotta say, I really like that they did that, honestly, because it's one of those things, where, you have to learn to, and honestly, it is relatable. I have to say, like, what Louis learned there, it is very much relatable, because sometimes you can just try to fly by the seat of your pants, or lack thereof, although, if you're human, I wouldn't advise that. But, sometimes you can try to do that, but it doesn't always work. And me, I'm the kind of person, I like to kind of be prepared. I like preparation, planning to ensure that, I don't really like flying by the seat of my pants all the time, because you don't really know what's going to happen. But I also really enjoyed the humor with this, and like I said, it was interesting that every one of these people, I was wondering, how long has it been since you actually seen real sunlight? You've lived in this dark place all this time. How is your health handling this? So it was interesting to see that, and I really enjoyed this episode, I have to say. It's not my favorite so far. I think my favorite episode, I think, was the one with Webby and the other girl, and the Terra Firmians one. Those are probably my favorite ones so far. The ones that really helped to advance the story and show development with, really good, solid development with those characters. This episode did also give some development with Louis. But I did really enjoy this episode because it felt like, a natural episode where we got to see the characters go on some sort of adventure. That's not to say where the characters stayed at the mansion or whatever. That's not to say that those didn't feel like the DuckTales episodes. I don't believe that every single episode has to have them going on some sort of adventure. They can still have an adventure there at home. And that's just like, it's very much like the Disney comics. So I'm really glad the feel and the pacing of these episodes, and I'm very curious as to what's going to happen in the next episodes as well. But I really did enjoy this episode. It was a fun and very wacky, zany episode. Very, 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 very fun. So, again, thank you guys. Thank you again to Disney, to everybody for this. Thank you to those. Thank you to whoever had the idea. Let's put a Michael Jackson reference in this episode. You're awesome, okay? You're awesome. And, but again, thank you to everybody that worked on this episode. Thank you, every, writers, voice actors, animators, musicians. Thank you all so much. And thank you guys again for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video that I do. Take care.